Hey, you're listening to ToonCast.
Who is this superhero? Sarge? No. Rosemary, the telephone operator? No. Henry, the mild-mannered janitor?
Could be. Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. He's got style, a groovy smile, and a vibe that just won't stop. When the going gets rough, he's super tough with a Hong Kong Phooey chop. Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. Tick-a-chong, 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 in the bow wow wow. Hong Kong Phooey, fanrific!
Hello and welcome to the 46th episode of ToonCast, brought to you by the Geekcast Radio Network. I am your host, TFG and Mike, and today I am joined once again by Kevin, Professor Boss K-Dog Thompson. Hello.
Hello.
Today we are going to be continuing the Hanna-Barbera Spotlight with Hong Kong Phooey.
Hong Kong Phooey. Sorry.
God. Please stop trying to channel Scatman Carruthers.
Damn it.
What have you been up to?
Let's see. A couple days ago I had a little new couch that I had bought delivered. So now I actually have seating in my living room, so that's good. I have been, actually, two things that have a lot to do with cartoons and being a nerd that I am. Number one, I've been going through scene by scene my Transformers DVDs trying to get screenshots of all the different characters.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, sometime after we get done recording today, I'm going to update the Transformers page behind the voice actors, and it's going to have over 230 characters that have been added to it, including every single character that was an actual Transformer. I won't have all the humans and like aliens and guest stars, but I'll have every single actual Transformer added to it. And so that's kind of a project. I just kind of finished that a little bit ago. And I also just got done watching all 16 episodes of the cartoon Black Star. I had it on DVD and it's just been sitting on my shelf forever. And I picked it up the other day, and I'm like, it's only 16 episodes. That wouldn't be very hard to get through. So the last couple of days, I watched all 16 episodes of that.
I don't think I've ever heard of that show.
It's basically the Filmation's first attempt at like an action adventure in like a fantasy world. It's basically the precursor to He-Man.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Well,
actually, hold on. It's He-Man combined with Smurfs and the Seven Dwarves.
That's actually fucking frightening.
Yeah, because you got like your regular He-Man character who has a couple sidekicks, one of which sounds exactly like the sorceress from He-Man. And imagine this, she is an actual magic person. And then besides the three main characters, there's 7 Trobbits, is what they call them. And they're these purplish characters that remind you of a combination of the dwarves and the Smurfs. So it's kind of interesting.
Damn.
It's not a bad show. It's just really not as good as He-Man.
And you ridiculed me for watching Phineas and Ferb, and you watch that crap?
No, I don't mind. Phineas and Ferb actually have good stories. I got a problem with the whole Hannah Montana thing.
Oh, we're not even gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there. I'm not even gonna really defend myself on that one. I just like the show. I'm not an actual fan of her herself.
Okay.
So, the show is funny.
And just for the record, I was not the only one that was ripping on Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, but you're the loudest voice, though.
Steve,
Steve
our producer,
doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Our producer, as I'm going to call him, echoed in and backed me up.
Yeah, well.
Anyways,
let's see, what have I been up to? I just recorded Nerd News for March 8th for This Week in Geek. Finally, after, a week of, I'm going to start giving people my real address because the other address I don't check all that much is my mom's P.O. box, so thank you for my birthday present.
No problem.
One question, where the hell is the slipcover to it?
There was no slipcover. Unfortunately.
When I went to Target last time and I saw it, it had a slipcover, so...
Well, now you gotta steal one somehow.
Yeah, right.
Slip it on a different movie and buy it. Yeah, because I looked at them. I thought there might be, but I looked at all the ones that Target had on their shelves, and none of them had slipcovers, so...
It's supposed to, because every other one I've seen has it. But anyway, thank you for being my Valentine, Charlie Brown.
And that was in no means a message. That was just trying to complete your collection.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I know. Well, at first, because I had mentioned a few episodes, a number of episodes ago, back when we were still doing the Disney Animation Spotlight, that I didn't have the Robin Hood Most Wanted edition, and because I opened the envelope thing upside down, or the DVD was upside down, I thought it could have been the Robin Hood thing. I'm like, oh, cool. And I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, that's cool. Charlie Brown. That works.
Excellent.
That works. Yeah, there's not too much else going on, so I think we can head into the history lesson.
All right. For today's history lesson, we pick up where we left off with Jabberjaw, which is in the 1970s. In this case, we go back to 1974 for the classic Hong Kong Phooey. Hong Kong Phooey debuted on ABC in 1974 and ran for 2 seasons. The show contained 16 classic episodes, and actually Fred Silverman, when he left ABC, took the show with him to NBC. The show was usually aired in a Saturday morning time slot. The star of the show, obviously, was Hong Kong Phooey, which is the secret alter ego of Penrod Pooch, or Penry, or as sometimes they pronounce it, Henry, which is a mild-mannered police station janitor, and a couple other characters that we'll get into. But that does it for the history part of the show. So what do you remember about Hong Kong Phooey?
I love this show. Of course, until recently, I didn't realize that Scatman Carruthers voiced him. I mean, I knew the Hong Kong Phooey voice. I just didn't know... I didn't put together that it was Jazz from Transformers G1.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't put it together. I should have. But, yeah, this is a pretty good show. This is one of the ones that has one of those wacky premises. It's kind of like Darkwing Duck of the 70s almost.
That's actually a pretty good comparison.
Well, I mean, you think of Darkwing Duck, and you watch that cartoon, and you see how bumbling he is. Yeah. And, you see how bumbling... See, I've never heard it called Penry or Penrod. I've always heard it called Henry. Because when I used to watch it on Boomerang, back when I still had Boomerang, but, what?
I actually just... went to my cable station, their company's webpage, and made a complaint that I don't have Boomerang. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that pisses me off.
Well, see, mine, they have it, but it's only if you get the digital cable.
Ah.
It sucks. But anyway, yeah, it's one of those things where his mild-mannered gender, thing, he's all bumbling and doesn't know what he's doing and always screws things up, and even it's kind of funny, even as Hong Kong Phooey, he screws things up.
Yeah. Luckily he's got some sidekick.
Yes.
I don't really remember much about this show, actually. Thinking back to my childhood, and, like I had mentioned a couple other times, I had some older siblings, so I was exposed to a lot of the Hanna-Barbera stuff that maybe I wouldn't have been. And for some reason, out of all the Hanna-Barbera ones, this one might be one of the ones I have the least amount of memories about. Mm-hmm. I mean, I remember the character, and I can't get the theme song out of my head right now, but I don't really remember much about the show from when I was a child. I mean, I've watched a couple episodes this week, so I caught back up on it. But for some reason, I don't have a lot of just general recollections of the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like Yogi Bear or Jabberjaw or next week's topic.
Right. Yes. What's funny about next week's topic is that was Mel Blanc.
Right.
So, we have anything else about general memories?
Just that I don't have many of this show, but
yeah, I don't either.
I'm not saying it's a bad show, though. We'll get more into that, but just because I don't have the memories of it doesn't mean anything.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so getting into the voice actors, Hong Kong Phooey was voiced by Scatman Crothers, like I said. Sergeant Flint was voiced by Joey Ross, best known as Officer Gunther Tootie in the early 60s television series Car 54, Where Are You? As Flint, Ross revived Tootie's famous ooh ooh exclamation. Sergeant Flint was very similar, both voice and appearance, to Botch, an assistant zookeeper on the Wonderland Zoo on Help, It's the Hair Bear Bunch. I hate that show. I could not stand that damn show.
I hope we get a voicemail of someone that's mad because you just ripped on Help, It's the Hair Bear Bunch.
I'm sorry, Help, It's the Hair Bear Bunch is nothing but Yogi Bear dressed up in drag.
Oh, God.
If you watch that show, seriously, if you look that up on YouTube and you watch an episode of that, it's a bunch of bears who dress up in drag to escape a zoo. Now, granted, Yogi, I don't think ever made that mistake trying to escape Jellystone, but whatever.
The other characters, we got Rosemary, who's basically the secretary at the police precinct, and that's voiced by Kathy Gorey, and then the cat, which is Hong Kong Phooey's basic sidekick, is actually voiced by Don Messick. Imagine that, Don Messick showing up in a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
I would love to see a voice actor roundtable, whatever you want to call, ensemble recording with Don Messick, Casey Kasem, Alan Oppenheimer, Frank Welker, and Lenny Weinrib.
Not to mention some of the old stars, which Ridgely, Hal Smith, and Paul Winchell are from like the generation before, and Alan Melvin, along with Vanderpyle and Janet Waldo. This is a ridiculous cast, and I do want to bring up something though. As I was, first of all, I second your point. Seeing a roundtable with this group would be insane. It would just be ridiculous.
Yep.
But the couple episodes that I watched, one of them was, one of them was called, I'm not going to be able to think of the names now, but one of them was called something about Green Thumb or Dr. Green Thumb or something like that. But the doctor sounded exactly like Will Ferrell's version of Harry Carey.
Oh, wow.
And I'm looking at this list trying to figure out who did that. And I can't come up with one of these guys who would have done that, or who would have sounded exactly like Will Ferrell's Harry Carey. But the reason I brought it up is because the second episode I watched, there was a somebody who was making it rain all the time. I can't remember the name of the episode.
I don't remember.
But the little bad guy sounded exactly like Gargamel from the Smurfs.
Ah.
And actually looking at that list now, Paul Winchell was Gargamel on the Smurfs. So he must have been doing that character with basically the same voice before the Smurfs ever existed. So there was a Gargamel before Gargamel, basically, as far as his voice resume goes. But it's interesting when you see these lists and then you go back and watch some of the episodes to watch, because usually these guests or these basically guest voice acting roles are usually given to the bad guy of the week, as I like to call him, which is just, whoever the new bad guy is for that episode or for that, clip. And it's interesting now knowing some of these voice actors and some of the other characters they've done, and then watching these shows and hearing the bad guys and being like, which one of those guys is that?
Yeah, it's just one of those shows that has, well, first of all, Scatman Crothers, one of the best voice talents of the time. Of course, he would go on to voice Jazz in G1. Is just, I don't know. It's what I want to see. All right, here's a job for you behind the voice actors people. I want to see a compare between Hong Kong Phooey and Jazz.
Well, we can do that. It won't actually be on a voice compare page, but I can go to the Scatman Crothers page, who already actually has a Jazz sound clip, I believe. But I can go on there and grab a Hong Kong Phooey, and then on his actual page, Scatman Crothers page, you'll be able to hear both of them.
Well, yeah, but still, that's what I'm saying. I want to hear, that compare, because, now that I'm thinking about it, granted the jazz voice was a little bit more robotic.
Yeah.
But I'm betting if you put Hong Kong Phooey and Jazz together, they're going to sound extremely alike. Besides the fact that they came from the same guy, but they're almost two different voices in the two different shows.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in, and I will grab both of those clips if there isn't. I'm pretty sure the jazz one's already on there, but I'll grab one from Hong Kong Phooey because I am interested in hearing those next to each other. I have a feeling that besides being a little more robotic, that the jazz voice is also a little more, I don't know if you want to call it urban or
polished, maybe.
Well, I don't think it's
a little more
polished.
Street.
Yeah, I think it's a little more street. It's a little, a little more. I don't know. You don't really want to say Ebonic style, but it has a little more of that edge. I always considered Jazz, the African American Transformer. That's why I have a black cat that's named Jazz. That's going off topic though. But yeah, I'd be interested to hear both of them side by side.
Yes. Going into the behind the scenes segment, outside of the usual listing of Hanna-Barbera, I don't recognize any of these people.
I would tell you if I recognize any of them if I could actually see who any of them were.
Well, you got Charles A. Nichols. That was directed by, and as far as writing credits, you have Lars Bourne, Fred S. Fox, Seaman Jacobs, Len Jansen, Jack Mendelsohn, and Chuck Menville. I don't recognize any of those people.
Mendelsohn, for some reason, rings a bell, but maybe it's somebody
else. Well, what you're probably thinking of is Lee Mendelsohn from Charlie Brown, but this one is spelled Mendelsohn.
Okay, yeah, so I don't I don't recognize any of those. I do recognize the recording director.
Oh, of course, Wally Burr.
I was surprised to see him show up on one of these. I mean, not that I'm surprised that he was doing stuff before Transformers, obviously, because he was somewhat advanced in age even during Transformers. Mm-hmm. But I had never seen his name come up in any of the other Hanna-Barbera stuff, so when I saw him on this one, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Like many Hanna-Barbera shows from this era, Hong Kong Phooey was originally broadcast with a laugh track. In the episode Comedy Cowboys, several new cartoon characters, Honcho the Mystery Maverick and Posse Impossible, appeared and helped to clear Hong Kong of a crime he did not commit. Posse Impossible found their way onto the CB Bears show.
I've actually never seen an episode of that.
I don't even know what the hell it is.
It's another cartoon that I think Hanna-Barbera did, I'm pretty sure, but for some reason I've never seen an episode, but maybe I'll YouTube it.
Mm-hmm. So moving into the actual show, the series stars Hong Kong Phooey, the number one super guy who travels about the city in his Phooey-mobile, fighting crime with the aid of his manual, the Hong Kong Book of Kung Fu. The stories begin at the police headquarters, where Hong Kong Phooey's alter ego, Penry, works as a mild-mannered janitor under the glare of Sergeant Flint. Also at the police station is Rosemary, the telephone operator, who has a crush on Hong Kong Phooey. After Rosemary gets a call and explains the crime, Penry runs into a filing cabinet and, always getting stuck, transforms himself into Hong Kong Phooey. Despite the theme song, Hong Kong Phooey is a classic screw-up and often fails to save the city, only to be saved by his sidekick cat, Spot. In a few rare circumstances, Hong Kong Phooey actually does save the city, but usually is unintended side effect of his intended attack going horribly wrong. Hong Kong Phooey is a respected superhero who always gets full credit for Spot's success. A running gag is that Hong Kong Phooey is such a respected hero that when his incompetence causes him to crash into harm or otherwise inconvenience a civilian, the passerby feels honored as opposed to annoyed or embarrassed, such as when he drove the Phooey-mobile through wet cement, splattering the workers who responded that it was an honor to have the whole day's work ruined by the great Hong Kong Phooey. Oh boy. Wow. Yeah, I would say he's even more of a klutz than Darkwing. I know that's bad, but Jesus Christ. Oh, crap. As we got some notable quotations here. For Hong Kong, we have "Ha ho" and "Rinky dinky doo to you," and "Better look up in my I better look it up in my Hong Kong book of Kung Fu," which sometimes isn't even the book of Kung Fu. There was one episode that I did see. It was a whole bunch of different books.
Yeah.
And then some quotes for the Sarge is, ooh, 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 and Penry. Shadow and Penry bungles something at the police station. Sergeant Flint would often mispronounce Penry's name in such a way that it sounds as Henry. However, many times as the show's clear pronunciation of Penry, diminutive Penrod can be heard. Well, I still say it's Henry, but...
And then you got Rosemary's quote. I gotta read it.
Okay.
Hello, hello, police headquarters. This is Rosemary, the lovely lassie with the classy chassis. Gotta love it. Actually, I love the person that did her voice. I've never heard her in anything else. Kathy Gorey, I'll have to look up what other things she did, but she was absolutely perfect for that role. I don't know. I can't imagine any other voice actor doing a better job of the police secretary. It's just awesome. Mm-hmm. I did notice in one scene, though, at the end of the show, she was actually out of the police headquarters and she was out and about with the Sarge and Hong Kong Phooey. She had the shortest miniskirt I've ever seen on a cartoon character from anything before 1990. It was ridiculously short. I was a little taken back, but but I know we already talked about the voice actors, but Hong Kong Phooey and looking at some of these quotes reminded me of it. Scatman Crothers and Rosemary, their voices to me made this show, both of them. Oh yeah, I mean you very rarely heard the Sarge except when obviously Hong Kong Phooey was in trouble. So right. But there's something about Scatman Crothers and not only the theme song, but some of the ways he's talking and some of his lines, they're just so catchy and they're so hard to get out of your head once you hear them. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Wow, she was in the new Tom and Jerry show in 1975. Oh, okay. Look at you on the ball. Well, yeah. Partridge Family 2200 AD in 1974. That's terrible. Yeah. Anti-Private Eye in 73. She played Lori. Whatever the heck that is. Let's see. Wow, she was in an episode of Maude. Oh God. It's funny, IMDb does not list... Oh, yeah, yes it does. I was going to say it does not list Hong Kong Phooey, but yeah, it does. She was in Valley of the Dinosaurs, which is a TV series in 1974. Okay. Yeah, the new Tom and Jerry show was the last thing... it was the last thing that she was credited for as far as IMDb. She was good in this show, though. I don't know. I mean, even if she didn't do anything else really that much in voiceover work, this role was just... I thought it would be someone more notable or more famous, but she did a great job. Yeah, the IMDb doesn't even... I mean, she was born in 1951, so I mean, she's only in her early mid-50s. But IMDb does not list a date of death, so... yes, she's still alive. She just hasn't acted since 1975 or 6. Interesting. So, we have anything else to say about the actual show? I liked the show. It was unique enough. I mean, a lot of Hanna-Barbera stuff is kind of repetitive and same types of shows over and over again, but this had enough of its little take on the Private Eye type thing, or like the kind of like the Superman character where you go in the file cabinet and change clothes and come out. That angle really hadn't been overdone at this point. I mean, it has sense, but I think it was a kind of a good idea to kind of cross over the Private Eye with Superman, but do it with a animal cartoon character type thing. And I think that was kind of in comparison to like what we've seen with Jabberjaw, which was basically, like we said in the show, a combination of Scooby-Doo and Josie and the Pussycats. The one we'll talk about next week is another ripoff of the same things, basically. So this was kind of a unique thing, and I think the show was good as far as actual storytelling.
Right. I've actually pulled her up on Wikipedia. Gorey co-wrote 2 original feature comedies, and Spalding Gets Nothing for Walt Disney Pictures and Andrew Gunn Productions, and Henchman vs. Sidekick for Revolution Studios and Broken Road Productions. She also co-wrote 1981 feature film Desperate Moves and co-wrote the 2007 Warner Brothers movie Chaos Theory starring Ryan Reynolds. So she has done stuff since 76. So, you know, it's IMDb, people. It's not the most...
Yeah. I actually have it now on IMDb has 2 different people doing Rosemary.
Oh, really?
So I wonder, it has Kathy Gorey doing Rosemary, and it says unknown episodes, and then it has Jean Vanderpyle doing Rosemary unknown episodes. And Jean Vanderpyle obviously is a much more famous voice actress, so I wonder which one I heard on those 2 episodes. Jean Vanderpyle's Wilma from...
Yeah, Wilma.
The Flintstones and OG from the Gilla Gorilla. But I wonder which one it was on the ones that I heard.
I don't know. So I guess we can move into the music segment. Take it away. Start singing, buddy.
The show's theme song entitled Hong Kong Phooey was written by a bunch of people that nobody's ever heard of. But the reason I bring it up is because the song was actually sung by Scatman Crothers, so he not only did the voice, but he actually sang the song, and I'm not singing it. I meant to listen to this before the show, but apparently a cover of the show's theme song, performed by Sublime, is included on the 1995 tribute album Saturday Morning Cartoons Greatest Hits. I'm actually interested in seeing what other stuff is on this Saturday Morning Cartoons Greatest Hits.
I will try to find it if I can.
I know it's on YouTube because I meant to click on it after I watched a couple episodes of Hong Kong Phooey, but I forgot to go back and click on it. But I'm also, maybe before next couple weeks shows, maybe I'll look up the Saturday Morning Cartoons Greatest Hits to see what other songs are on there. But I don't know. I'd be interested to hear Sublime's take on it, but you can't beat Scatman Crothers singing it.
Right. Well, the other thing, about, well, as of this recording, the Jabberjaw episode hasn't come out. Did you listen to the Yogi episode yet?
I've listened to the Huckleberry Hound. I have not listened to Yogi yet.
I was going to try to make a comparison to the Cartoon Groovy stuff I put in there as the outro. But, the thing about updating theme songs is they're going to have the same feel, but a little bit different, obviously. So I don't think it would be too bad to hear a Sublime version of Hong Kong Phooey.
Yeah, it would be an interesting take, and if it's songs that you love from cartoon hits and stuff like that, then it's got to have a little value on it.
Yep. All right, so Hoyt Curtin also did the series music for the show, which is no surprise whatsoever. Going into the legacy segment, some things that's been referenced in was Family Guy, That 70s Show, What's New Scooby-Doo, A Scooby-Doo Halloween, Scooby-Doo Itself, Robot Chicken, The Mint, which I've never heard of, and The Jay Leno Show. Wow.
Where Guy Fieri, which is the guy that just started hosting Minute to Win It, he's the Food Network guy, actually called Hong Kong Phooey his favorite cartoon.
That's cool. It was featured in 100 Greatest Kids TV Shows, I Love the 70s, 1974, 100 Greatest Cartoons, so that's what it's been featured in. As far as other media, with a copyright of 2001, Alan Lau, in conjunction with WildBrain.com, produced a Flash animation web show cartoon that was prominently featured on CartoonNetwork.com and can still be found there, while Penry appears identical to the original incarnation. Hong Kong Phooey is much larger, cut, and highly competent and skilled fighter without Spot the Cat. Hong Kong Phooey faces off against and easily defeats evil anthropomorphic animals, a trio of rabbits, what appears to be a crane, and a reptilianoid. At the end, he morphs back into Penry with a smile and a sparkle in his eye. Okay, that sounds like fucking crap.
Yeah. So let's move right on.
Yeah. As far as a possible film for Hong Kong Phooey. On July 12, 2009, it was announced that David A. Goodman had been hired to pen a Hong Kong Phooey film. Alex Zam is set to direct, and Broderick Johnson, Andrew Kosov, Brett Ratner, and Jay Stern are producing. On July 31st, 2009, it was announced that Warner Brothers will release the Hong Kong Phooey film with co-financing from Alcon Entertainment, Johnson & Kosov's production company, and Hanna-Barbera Productions in name-only unit of Warner Brothers Animation.
There's a film coming. Uh-oh. That scares me because I've seen what they've done with like Underdog and well, actually I haven't seen the movie, but I saw the previews for stuff like Underdog, and some of these are not turning into good. It's not like just because Transformers and G.I. Joe have had success does not mean that every single cartoon would make a good film, and I'm assuming this is some type of live-action CGI film.
The problem with this, number one, first of all, Mr. Carruthers is no longer with us.
Right.
Now, I will fully admit that Scatman Carruthers will always be the voice of Jazz for me, as far as that character being in Generation 1 for Transformers. However, Phil Lamar did an awesome job updating him in Transformers Animated because he voiced Jazz in that show. So, I seriously doubt, though, that anyone can voice Hong Kong Phooey like Scatman Carruthers did.
No.
Now, people can argue with me all that they want that actors don't care about roles and whatever else, and that's fine. But this isn't recasting Spider-Man, for fucking Christ's sake. This is goddamn Hong Kong Phooey.
Right. There was only one. It's not like there's been multiple cartoons.
Exactly.
There's just one. It's like you just can't do it. I just want to butt in real quick because I actually looked up that CD. Here's some of the other stuff that's on that CD. You got Sponge. I've never heard that music group doing Go Speed Racer Go. You have Matthew Sweet doing Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Collective Soul, the Bugaloos. I've never heard of the Bugaloos. The Ramones doing the Spider-Man song. Mm. Let's see, you got Dig doing the Fat Albert theme. Face to Face, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Sublime doing Hong Kong Phooey. The Murmurs, HR Puffin' Stuff. Wax doing Happy Happy Joy Joy. I can't believe I just said that. Semisonic doing Sugar Sugar from the Archie Show, and a couple other ones. So it's interesting. It looks like it's mostly 70s and maybe a little bit earlier. It looks like it's almost all 70s cartoons. So, but actually on Amazon, you can listen to samples of most of them.
Right. So on August 15, 2006, as far as DVD releases, Warner Home Video released the complete series on DVD in Region 1, which includes commentary on select episodes, documentary of the show from its development through its legacy, includes production designs and never-before-seen original artwork, as well as new interviews, and a Hong Kong Phooey, the Batty Bank Gang, the complete storyboard. So there's that. We are going to take a quick break. You'll hear some stuff, and we'll come back with the final thoughts.
ToonCast will be back after these messages.
The TFG1 podcast has 24 action-packed discussion episodes on the original Transformers cartoon. So if you're a fan of the 80s cartoon, we have all you need and more, as well as an interview with Stan Bush. You can find us on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com. Tune in. Do you like reminiscing on the cartoons of old? Well, look no further. ToonCast is dedicated to the cartoons you grew up with. From the 50s to the 90s, all manner of classic cartoons will be discussed. We even had the chance to interview Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. Yes, that's right, Larry Kenney. You can find us on iTunes and the web at www.geekcastradio.com.
There once was a boy, an albino I'm told, who possessed the power of pen-pusher gold. He had many stories, all short and exciting, but nobody knew, and so he began writing. He sat there all summer and skillfully sought to perfectly ponder and polish each plot. The settings were set, all the characters cast, his fingers were flying and flailing so fast, and soon the young man with the snowy complexion quickly concocted the caffeine collection. He smiled, satisfied with his clever creation. Oh, the things that did pour from his imagination. Stories of pirates and future police, of devils and bullies, and a twist press release. Fantasy, mystery, both are included. Comedy, action, no genre excluded. You say to yourself, it's too good to be true, but author Steve Saylor would not lie to you. An audiobook so you don't have to read. And hey, $15 is all that you need.
From the author of the podcast novel Black Shadow, Steve Saylor presents The Caffeine Collection, a dynamic audiobook collection of short stories presented by ringtonefeeder.com and stevesaylor.net. Steve presents a genre mashup of multiple stories for your ears.
I have to be on caffeine to write all this.
Steve Saylor presents The Caffeine Collection, on sale October 28th, 2009.
So mark this day down so you will not forget. For more information, stevesaylor.net.
Now back to ToonCast.
Okay, so final thoughts on Hong Kong Phooey, sir.
Hong Kong Phooey is just one of those shows that kind of gets in your head and doesn't leave you alone. Like I said, the theme song, Scatman Crothers' voices, his classic lines, and I give it credit for being somewhat unique. I mean, I know it's not completely original, but you know, I kind of can see a difference in it and most of the other Hanna-Barbera stuff. I did not get bored watching the episodes of Hong Kong Phooey on YouTube. So it might be something that I don't know if I would actually want to watch the whole series. But it wasn't that many episodes, so it's just overall good classic cartoon, and I give it at least one thumbs up.
At least one thumbs up. Oh boy. Yeah, you know, I agree with you. It's not the best cartoon in the world, but it's not the worst, and I mean, you know, you got pretty much great voice acting from the people that were cast for the characters.
Yeah.
So, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us here on ToonCast. There are several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. First, you can stop by geekcastradio.com, find all the other GCRN podcasts there. Second is you can stop by PredicateEmpire.com/Nexus. Those are our forums. And the third is you can leave the show feedback in iTunes. I did check this. We still have no new feedback. What the hell is wrong with you people?
Please go leave us feedback.
Yes. We now have a voicemail line. Call us and leave us your thoughts on each episode. Be sure to say what show you're leaving the message for and your name. Number is 502-526-5821. We have Twitter. The show name there is GCRN ToonCast. Mine is TFG1 Mike. And what is your Twitter?
Boss K Dog.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToonCast. Wish you'll join us next time. We will be finishing our Hanna-Barbera Spotlight with Captain Caveman.
And the Teen Angels.
Well, that was never part of the title as far as I remember, so for now, I am TFG1 Mike with
Optimus Solo.
Saying in the mortal words of Optimus Prime, transform and roll out, and thank you for listening. Until next time.
Who is this superhero? Sarge? No. Rosemary, the telephone operator? No. Henry, the mild-mannered janitor?
Could be Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. He's got style, a groovy smile, and a mouth that just won't stop. When the going gets rough, he's super tough with a Hong Kong Phooey chop. Hong Kong Phooey, #1 super guy. Hong Kong Phooey, quicker than the human eye. Chicka-chong, chicka-chong, chicka-chaka, chicka-chong, chicka-bop, chop, chop, and the bow, wow, wow.